Hello, everyone. This is the next episode of The Bar. I know it's been a while,
Sure
and we've been
as.
and we've been doing things. I was put
Have we?
into a coma due to my surgery. I
You
was
were
put
not
in
put into a. That's
cryostasis.
not a coma.
I was put in cryostasis for about 3 months,
No,
and
no.
when I woke up, it turned out Nick actually had a huge, religious revelation. He went to join
No,
the
never,
Taliban.
never,
It-
never. I would never be religious.
You see, his emo
Fake news.
tendencies finally became annoying to him. He joined the Taliban. I had to go over to Afghanistan and talk to my friends there, Thankfully, we managed to get him out of the country.
I fucking hate
So,
religion.
yes, they were very disappointed. They said he was one of the most zealous members they ever had.
That's a lie, because I would never support a cult in my life.
That's not what the execution squads in Kandahar were saying, Nick. They
Okay.
said they were going to.
Okay, then.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so random bullshit that won't get used by the feds later. Uh, what are we starting off with again?
what'd you watch? You watched some movies.
All right. I watched two movies this time because I was a dick last time and I forgot the one I was supposed to watch. So the two we have are La La Land and All That Jazz. Now,
Yes.
in the order I watched them, La La Land is about Ryan Gosling and the blonde woman. It's
Emma
about these
Stone.
two.
Emma
Yes,
Stone.
it's a musical with Ryan Gosling and the blonde woman. Sorry. Essentially, it's this romantic musical where these two great artists who are down on their luck go to Hollywood and try to make it in the industry while they're dealing with their own relationships and lives. The lady essentially wants to become a great actress, but is struggling at that. And Ryan Gosling, when he's not looking emotionally dead inside, which is few and far between, as,
He's
as
very
much
good
as,
at it.
as much as I love him as an actor, I think he needs a therapist or something. But he's trying to open a classical jazz club, but no one likes classical jazz apparently in Hollywood. Instead, they prefer electric jazz, which, considering it's more obnoxious and worse than normal jazz, yes, I can understand. I can find highly realistic. Essentially, their relationship degrades pretty much off a cliff one day because their paths lead them in different directions. And spoiler alert, by the end of the movie, they broke up. They weren't a thing for a few years and they see each other. Now, I'll be honest, this is not the kind of movie that was made for me. But I
No, I
did
imagine
most
it wasn't.
well, despite that, I actually mostly enjoyed it. It had some
Good.
very good music and sets, and I actually really liked the theme they went for with the constant purple afternoon skies.
Yeah.
There,
It's very
there
pretty.
was some, it was a very pretty movie. My only complaint story wise would be the ending is kind of awkward, as in essentially they go to the jazz club. She's a successful and married actress with a kid with some other guy, and then she sees him playing the piano and he plays the same song he played, and it's this montage of them together dancing on these film sets. And I think it's supposed to be she's imagining what life would be like with him, and she's happy, but she feels bad for him, and he wishes things turned out differently. But emotionally, I wasn't really feeling that because it was kind of awkwardly shot. I guess,
Okay.
I guess, I understand they didn't want to say that out loud. They were trying to be a bit subtle about it, but I don't know. The ending musical was a bit weird to me.
Okay. I mean, that is a very interesting take, but that's okay.
I get what they were trying to go for, but I didn't feel it, which was not the case with the rest of the movie, is what I'm saying.
Bro just has no feelings.
I I'm saying the rest of the movie did make me feel what they were trying to make me feel. I'm not like Ryan Gosling,
Damn. Well, at least
So
you enjoyed the movie.
yeah.
It's
What did
in
you think
it's
of?
I fucking La La Land is like in my top like maybe 10, 15 movies of all time. Like it's phenomenal. Unlike you, I actually did understand the ending and it made me feel things.
Well,
Yeah, the purpose is that it's like a what if scenario, and it's something that everyone does that. Everyone who has like a relationship and they break up, they'll have like a what if scenario of like what if things ended up okay. So it's very real to me at least. But otherwise, there isn't a whole lot to say that hasn't already been said in the past. It's got really great music. I love City of Stars. It's got good choreography. It has a pretty good story. My only maybe issue is it's maybe a little it's a hair too long, I think. Yeah, it's like 2 hours. I think it could be a little less than that. But yeah. That's all I have to say about it.
mm-hmm.
I
Well,
think maybe Whiplash is better.
is that the one where like J.K. Simmons domestically abuses a teenager?
Yes.
Oh,
It's fucking amazing.
between that and Invincible, he's a bit too good at that role, if you know what I mean. I'm not
Well,
alleging anything. I'm just saying,
bro's a
like
legend.
it's like with Ryan Gosling in The Emotionally Dead Stare. If you do anything that well, uh, there's reason for concern.
Right.
The second movie I watched was a little known film called All That Jazz from 1970.
Yes. All That
And it,
Jazz, by the way, top 5 movie to me. So you better talk good on it.
oh, 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 yeah. Well, all
Uh-oh.
that, yeah. Well, All
Uh-oh.
That Jazz is technically a musical from 1979. It's a movie that it's very weird to me because it has like 4.5 thousand 5-star reviews, and I've literally never heard of it in my life until now. Which I don't understand why. I feel like I should have heard of this film before, to be honest.
I think the reason is because it's not like available anywhere outside of like physical media. It's not
I
on
found
streaming. You can't rent it anywhere. It is on YouTube, but it's like not a legal version.
checkmate, Nick. I watched it on Tubi.
It's on
So
Tubi.
yes.
Why the fuck is it on Tubi? Who the fuck watches Tubi?
Look, we got a Roku television, and Tubi is one of the pre-installed channels. And
Gross.
look, Tubi isn't a bad streaming service. The biggest problem with it is, that problem with streaming nowadays where any show on any platform that's not original to it will be gone for
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. It'll be back, gone again, back.
Yep.
It'll be nowhere. And then on basketball or something. That Tubi has that problem in the extreme. That's the main issue with it. If you want a
Yeah.
free
I don't like
if you
it.
want if you just want to stream some show for free, it's not that bad. But that's where I watched it.
Okay.
And it's apparently a semi-autobiographical movie about some guy,
It
the
is
guy who wrote it.
yeah, it's about the guy who wrote and directed it, by the way.
Yes, emphasis on the semi part, as we'll
Yeah.
get to later. And it's essentially about the main character, who is a play director in, I think, New York or somewhere along the Eastern Coast, where he essentially is constantly into drugs and womanizing and just not being a very good person. He divorced his wife, but he's for some reason constantly around her and their daughter, which, good for the kid, but it's never really explained since they always talk about how much they hate each other. They're both weird, to be frank. And the film is a very haphazard collection of shots where it will go from the main thread of the film is that he did all these bad things. He works on the play. He's dying. And then, spoiler alert, he dies, which is why it's the semi autobiographical, I'm assuming.
I mean, he did die like less than 10 years later.
Okay, scratch that. I guess it's never mind. It's a bit too true to life. I don't wait. He straight up died. Didn't he learn the lesson from his own movie?
I don't. I don't know.
He wrote the
I think
damn thing.
I think he got to a point where he just didn't care and just, which I fucking respect that. And he went out doing what he loves. So again, I respect that.
Well, the film starts off with a quasi musical introduction, but it's about 30 very awkward minutes where the first 5 minutes of the movie, after fading from black, they have all the dancers on stage that are doing their recital with very loud music playing overhead. There's not really any credits showing up. There's no one speaking, no story. You're basically just watching the recital for 5 minutes with loud music playing.
And it's
And then
great.
the next, no, it feels like it could have been shaved off completely. And then the next 25 minutes are like one of the, feels like someone with full on TikTok brain rot edited a movie, because what happens in movies a lot of the time is you'll be switching from one shot to the next as two stories are going on at the same time. So you'll have the director, say, talking to his actors, and then the two guys in back who are part of the theater, I think, that business, they're talking about which actresses he's going to pick. It does that constantly, and then it switches between, it has those two and adds in a third thing it's swapping between, with him watching a comedy film going on. And the next 25 minutes are kind of insufferable for me to watch because it is just that swapping back and forth every few seconds between multiple plot lines without resolving the individual scenes. And it really feels to me like this should have just been a few short scenes in chronological order, especially when they have three going at once and you're swapping every 9 seconds. Your eyes start to hurt a little. That was at least a me thing.
Okay.
Oh. Anyway, the movie is a musical officially, but it's a very awkward one, in my opinion. This will sound like a weird comparison, but one musical that I think is very well done in terms of like pacing and songs is, say, Frozen, because the songs are both the purpose of a song in a musical. Listen, the purpose of a song in a musical is to not just contribute to the story, but also sound good on its own. Now, the songs in this are all right at sounding good on their own for the most part, but a lot of the times it'll be 30 straight minutes of normal film of them talking, and they'll have a bit of loud music without singing playing, or they'll have like 25 straight minutes of no singing, no music, no nothing. And then they'll have like five musical segments in a row, and four of them are just his wife, daughter, and his girlfriend in random dresses singing while he's having some coma hallucination. It's very badly paced in terms of where all the musical segments go. It pretty much goes almost none at the beginning, one or two in the middle, and like five or six near the end. And it really felt to me like they should have stretched it out in the middle. There's also, and the main arc of it essentially being the guy's death just felt very unfocused to me. Felt like there was a lot of random crap going on. He doesn't really, he talks to the specter of death about random stuff in his life, and those are generally the best parts of the movie when they get the little amount of time that they're focused on. However, most of it is just random other stuff going on. Like, especially, one thing I noticed is they have a lot of random scenes, like the first 5 minutes, that could and by all rights should have been cut to focus on the guy. Like, they have the businessmen that run the theater, and every like 20 minutes or so, you'll just randomly have 2 to 5 minutes of these guys talking to each other, and they'll talk about, oh yeah, it's a major hit on the West Coast, the play he made, it's going to get a movie and film rights and everything. And then it cuts and it's never addressed. Not to mention, what was with those two guys from the one team that were talking to each other saying that they are like a father and son to each other while their lips were like 2 centimeters apart and they were breathing heavily? I remember that like vividly watching that, and I'm like, are you guys just like, do you guys know you're gay, or is this just like obliviousness here?
Oh, that's fun.
That one scene, I didn't know what to think with that. Like, do you guys understand what you're doing right now? But in the end, the main character dies, and are any lessons learned by him or the audience? Mainly don't take insane amounts of drugs and womanizing, and mainly avoid TikTok, in my personal opinion. That seems to be the main message of the movie. You'll edit a bit of a mess if you do stay on TikTok. So, Nick, what do you think of my opinion on your near favorite
You
films?
are a fucking moron.
You are not.
That is, again, as I stated with La La Land, that is a take.
Yes, it is a take.
That is certainly a crazy take of the movie.
You can like you can like the story all you want, Nick. I'm not talking much about the story. I'm talking objectively of how this film was shot. Just seems really bizarre to me.
To me, at least, I think the film is shot incredibly well. I love every scene. Looks like a painting. I love how like the halation from each shot, for example, adds like this like fogginess to it, and especially when because it cuts back and forth between the scenes of him talking to this like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like an angel or something. Like he's reflecting on his life as the movie goes on. Like it is the movie is told in like this really unique perspective where it's like kind of shot in both the present as well as the future at the same time. And don't even get me started on like the musical sequences. Like probably the best scene in the entire movie is that I Think I'm Gonna Die song at the very end. Like it's incredible to watch.
Is it now?
Yes.
You don't think there's any issues with the pacing of the music in this?
Maybe it's just me. I found like I was hooked the moment it started, and I never took my eyes away from it. Like it never made me lose interest at all. Like I was in it from the beginning. So I think it's you. I think it's you.
Oh, so you're saying this is a you issue?
I think this is a you issue, not being able to comprehend it.
Not able to comprehend it. I am saying the film isn't shot well. I'm not saying I didn't understand the story well enough.
Well, again, that is also objective too, or subjective too. But to me, at least, I think it's shot really well, and every shot looks fucking incredible.
Well, that is certainly a take.
Shut up.
What goes around comes around.
What do you rate the movie?
Well,
out of 10.
There's so many.
Well, and La La Land too, because you didn't do that.
La La Land, I'd give an 8 out of 10.
Okay,
very good movie.
Good.
All that jazz. What would I say? There's so many things to be said about famous movies. All that jazz.
Bruh.
Maybe it's 2 out of 10.
Oh, what?
Well, 2.
2?
I'm sorry. I was like forcing myself to get through the movie by the end.
Fucking kill yourself.
No.
What a terrible take.
I just couldn't stand the editing of this movie. Fight me.
Like you don't like the entire like you felt that it was like repetitive, but that was kind of the point of the movie. Because it illustrates like he lives the same day over and over and over again. Like that's how much of like a toll it's taking on his life.
Let's see. Yeah. Anyway. What movie?
I'm never making you watch one of my favorite movies again.
Come on. What other movies are there?
Well, we were going to talk about like our top like 20 favorite movies.
But we haven't. I don't have that list on me right now. So.
Okay, so we'll wait on that.
Don't worry. I'll talk to my, agents. We'll have that sorted out in a jiffy.
All that jazz better be on that list. Because it's going to be on mine, and it's going to be extremely high on the list, too.
Look, Nick, whatever it is, I promise to be honest with you. I'm not promising you're going to like it. I'm promising I'm going to be honest.
I don't know which is better.
Well, anyway.
Anyway.
I completely forgot what movie I asked you to review.
I did too. So I think, I don't know. I don't remember what you told me to watch.
Because to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure the past 2 episodes of this have both been lost to history.
No, only one has been lost.
All right. Dang.
Only one. I have no idea what happened to it. I like searched everywhere for it and I could not find it.
Well, maybe we'll find it years later.
Years later, and it'll be a lost episode.
Anyway. All right, what do you want to do first?
Where'd my list go?
Do you have the Google Doc?
Yeah, I got it open.
All right.
Let's talk about the Minecraft movie.
Oh my God.
Oh, let's talk about that.
There has been a few times in history I have ever seen a movie get this much blowback.
It's genuinely one of the worst trailers I have ever seen for a movie ever.
I know this is going to sound weird, but one of the things I hate about modern media is like the Fortnitification of all media. Is the only way I can describe it.
That's a crazy word to say for it.
Look, I know it's a very loquacious word, but when I look at the kind of art style they're using for the trailer, with the random group of people in like the neon pink hip hop sneakers kind of clothing in the hideous CGI landscape, which is burning your retinas from how bright it is, I just can't help but think of how much it looks like the same art style they use in Fortnite. It's like the safe, bland art style they use everywhere. Like, the Kawa art style they use everywhere, the one that draws people as like hideous blobs.
Yeah,
it's like that. I don't hate Fortnite the game on its own, but I despise how like 3D animation is trying to just become that or Coco Melon.
It's an unbearable trailer to watch. I don't even know if I watched the whole thing. It is genuinely the worst thing possible. Like the expectations for that movie are bottom of the barrel, but somehow it's like even worse.
Well, one thing I'm interested in talking about it is, do you think it's going to be able to make back its budget?
No.
I don't. Well, I hope it doesn't, because
I really hope it doesn't.
This is the kind of thing, like, say with Concord, where it's the kind of media that needs to fail, not just deserves it. But with this Minecraft movie, I've heard people arguing that because you have so many stupid kids, they'll probably go and see it.
What kid is going to go see this movie?
I don't know, to be honest. That's the argument I've heard. I'm not
I heard
very
that.
convinced
I
by it.
heard that argument for Five Nights at Freddy's. I went to go see it in theaters, and I was the only one in the fucking theater.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the FNAF movie is getting a sequel, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, that's weird in itself.
Yeah, not to mention that not just the weird celebrities dressed as random Californian homeless people, but why is it I understand why, say, Marvel's CGI is going downhill, and that's because the number, for you and those who don't know, the number of studios that work on CGI in Hollywood hasn't really gone up, but the work they're having to do has like quadrupled in the past 10 years due to Marvel and Disney and other companies, which is
Yeah.
why and the like look hideous. It's basically sweatshop conditions for them at this point. But then I look at the Minecraft movie and I'm like, why are you modeling the skin pores of a Minecraft sheep?
So
Wh-
I'm curious. I'm curious because I have no idea. What is the budget?
Good question. Let's
I have
see if
no idea what it is.
I'm hoping it's something stupidly in $150 million.
Oh my god. No way. I don't see. Yeah, that might be true, but I don't believe you when you say that. Like
The thing that
just from watching, it looks like it was made for like 20.
the thing that makes me curious is that with modern media, what happens, especially with big companies like Disney, is that they'll take a project that would struggle to make its money back normally, but then they dump like 200 quadrillion dollars into marketing, so the it ends up being a nightmare flop instead of just a normal flop. That's what
Yeah.
happened with Star Wars Outlaws. If you've heard of that game recently,
No.
they basically it's Ubisoft's latest, road mark in their decline. And it essentially they paid for advertisements on the Super Bowl, and people played it and found out it was garbage, so it's not making them money. With
Yeah.
the Minecraft movie, I'm not sure if it'll be able to make back $150 million. Sadly, with the dumb kids argument, that alone might work since it's Minecraft.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a kid that would want to watch it.
I'm not saying I'm confident I'm on that. I'm saying that $150 million alone is a lot, but it's theoretically doable. What I don't know is how much they're spending on marketing. Because if this is one of those movies where they spend a lot to overcompensate in terms of marketing, there is no way this film's not going to be a bomb.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm just sick. I don't understand. Hold up. You have these movies like the Mario movie and the Sonic movie, and they genuinely listen to the fans. Like when the Sonic movie had its horrifying first animation, they redid the whole thing, and people liked them for it. With the Minecraft movie, their only response is like, you know what? Live action Jason Momoa. And you know what? We'll also put in Jack Black as Steve.
And he says, I am Steve in the worst way possible.
I'm sorry, but whenever I look at Jack Black now on the screen, I can't help but think you need to be like held down and shaved and given a bath. I don't Steve is like a young if you were to look at him as a human being instead of just a black guy, is like a young 20 something man with brown hair and blue eyes. He's not like a 70-year-old homeless Karl Marx
Jack
looking.
Black is not 70.
I'm sorry. Some people look older than they are, and when I look at Jack Black as Steve, it's like the Ryan Gosling effect, where there's like he doesn't say that line with like any humanity. It's like I am Steve. He looks at
It's one of the worst like line delivery possible.
yeah. Now that I'm thinking of it, this does remind me of another movie, and this movie actually did get a similar reception to the Minecraft movie when it was announced.
What?
The Emoji Movie.
I think this is worse.
I'm not talking about the quality. I'm talking about the blowback.
Well, yeah, I guess so then.
Like no one's lining up to the Emoji Movie's defense, and no one's lining up for this movie's defense.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's really depressing when I can straight up remember, like, as a 13-year-old watching Minecraft, those Minecraft song videos, or some guys who are just making like a Minecraft Herobrine movie, and think to myself, those movies had better animation than whatever I'm watching right now. I'm not even being facetious. I'm being dead
I know
serious.
that's real.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's sad about it.
Yeah. Well, we can only wait with, bated breath to see what Jack Black's latest masterpiece will be.
I'm not watching this
You know,
movie, by the way.
neither am I.
I will
But
not step foot in a theater to see this.
between this and the Borderlands movie, I don't even know if Jack Black's agent is present anymore. I think this is just Jack Black's own terrible decisions at this point.
I'd never even watched Borderlands.
Don't. But
I've never even played it, so I wouldn't even.
look, the thing about the movie is it is quirky millennial writing the movie. It is thinks it's funny the movie.
That's so Deadpool basically.
No. Deadpool has like actual intelligence to it.
No, it doesn't. No, it fucking
Yes, it
doesn't.
does. Yes,
Don't
it
give me
does.
that. Do not give me that.
Don't be a contrarian here.
Don't give me that. Deadpool is
Well,
one of the most like retarded movies ever made.
no, Deadpool is a funny movie.
No,
And
it's
I'm
not.
speaking on this show.
No, it's not.
You're wrong here.
No, I'm not. It is absolutely awful.
No, you have not played Borderlands, and you clearly have not watched Deadpool.
I have seen Deadpool once, and I want that time back in my life. Is what I'm saying.
You think that one fat Russell Crowe movie where they're talking about some random art guys who made a forgery was a masterpiece of a film, Nick? I'm sorry, but your taste is not perfect, contrary to popular.
Who are you talking about, Russell Crowe?
You made me watch. Sorry, I think maybe it was the Fat Orson Welles or Russell Crowe movie where they go to some Spanish guy who faked some art.
Oh, F for Fake?
F for fake, yes.
That's a good movie.
Well, now we're at the impasse again, buddy.
That's a good movie. I don't know what you're yapping about.
Deadpool is a bad movie, but that's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna say it's a masterpiece, but I'm gonna say it's a good movie.
I see how it is.
I think Deadpool is for millennial virgins.
I think F is for fake is for art students. It's just you happen to be an art student.
I am. I will admit that.
Well. Anyway, to move past the arguing over F is for fake or what have you, where else do you want to go with this?
With Minecraft?
No, not with Minecraft, the other stuff.
Oh. I was gonna say, what else is there to say about Minecraft? I mean, The Crow is bombed awfully, to put it lightly.
And it earned it very much.
It deserved it. That movie is like horrendous to the legacy of both the original Crow as well as Brandon Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Like it 100% deserved to flop.
Yeah, I admit I've only seen like the first 15 minutes of the original Crow.
Oh, you should watch the whole thing. It's good.
Yeah, I actually want to watch the rest of the thing, and for what little my opinion is worth on this, it seemed very competently made. It was a good movie for those 15 minutes I saw.
It's very well shot. It's very unique with its style. That being said, you might not like it because if you want to call it TikTok-y, I guess you could call it that because it's like very fast paced. But I think it's good style.
I don't know. When I'm not saying anything about the original Crow, but with the new Crow, when I see those trailers and that trying so hard to be dark and edgy, I can't help but think it's remember the height of the emo subculture. I think around 2013 when they were making stuff like emo the musical, where it's so
I don't remember that at all.
it was emo the musical is an Australian movie that you have to watch to
No,
truly
I'm not
understand.
watching that. I'm not watching that.
I'm not saying you should. I'm saying that you have to watch it if you want to understand how horrifically bad it is. It,
Okay.
the worst part is they like genuinely tried with that movie. It,
I've never
anyway,
even heard of it.
the fact it exists is something on its own, but I can't help but remember watching that trailer. I can't help but think of a movie like that where it's something so pretentiously over the top emo that unless you have like an ego the size of the sun that's just blotting out all common sense, it's just embarrassing to an insane degree.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, I'm not talking about Deadpool because, again, I've made my stance very clear on how I feel about Deadpool existing.
all right.
It
Well,
shouldn't.
if that's the case, I'll just give my small opinion on that one. It seems from what I heard from my family, it's a good movie. I can't see it in the theater because of my back right now, which sucks, but it is what it is. It's probably one of the last times we'll see who's the Hugh Jackman? Is he the current Wolverine actor?
I think so.
Probably one of the last times we'll see Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine, and
Good.
because and I only can dread what Marvel is going to try to do with bringing the X-Men into the rest of the Marvel universe. And while this movie on its own is good, in my opinion, Nick, in my opinion, I don't. I don't think I've heard some people talking about how this is going to be a renaissance for Marvel content. No, I think this is like the last gasp before like the outright before this Goliath like collapses completely. So that's my 2 cents.
All right. I fucking hate Marvel, so that's how I feel about it.
I enjoyed it in the past, but we're at the point where like 98% of everything they're making is just embarrassing. No one is going to remember Agatha all along the next week
It's
from
always
now.
been embarrassing.
What do you mean? Are you disrespecting the name of Ironheart?
Yes.
Do you mean to tell me you don't think She-Hulk is a masterpiece of cinema?
No, neither is like Iron Man or the Avengers.
Well, at the very least, Iron Man and the Avengers are like good 7 out of 10 movies.
No.
I'm not gonna pretend I was ever like a gigantic fan of the Marvel movies, but at the very least, they're the kinds of films you can go and watch and say, yeah, that was an hour well spent. But when this new stuff, it's just embarrassing. And not fun fact. Uh, it turns out almost every episode of She-Hulk cost $25 million to produce somehow.
That's really funny.
Have you
Good
seen
use
the
of
new
money.
Have you seen the new Godzilla movie, Godzilla minus one?
No, but I've been meaning to.
Well, I won't spoil it for you, but that movie is about $28 million last I heard to make. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was watching that movie and I was really enjoying it, I couldn't help but think to myself, how the fuck does it cost $25 million to animate a green woman, and it costs $28 million to animate Godzilla blowing up multiple cities? Going on in the There must be some sort of insane Ponzi scheme going on in Marvel right now, where they're just
There's
sucking out 90% of the budget.
It's possible.
It's just all going to the P Diddy pension plan. That's It would make sense.
Sure.
Let's see.
Talk to me about the Alien movie because I haven't seen it.
All right, I haven't seen it either. So
Okay.
I,
Okay.
but I, yeah, well, I can't go into the theaters right now because of my back. I can't sit in this chair right now. So
Broke. What are you? How are you sitting? How are you sitting now?
Well, I can sit. The problem is to
Okay.
watch a movie like that in the theater, I have to sit in one of those chairs for 2.5 hours. I can't do that. I have to like get up and move every 30, 40 minutes.
How do you sleep?
Not well. I stay up till 12 playing Dying Light 2, and then I sleep until 7:30, and I wake up having to ice my back for the next hour because it hurts like hell.
Old man.
I'm getting better, but it's not quick. So,
Old man.
you youngster.
Fucking old man over here.
Hmm. Anyway, where were we again? All right, Alien Romulus. So, to give what little sense I have on this movie, it seems from what everyone is saying that in general, the movie was surprisingly great for the most part, which, granted, I have to admit, for Alien, it's one of those franchises from the 1980s, like Terminator or Robocop, where after like the second or third installment, every other one was garbage.
After the second.
Yes, I'm not. I'm not as big into Alien as I am, say, Terminator, but as far as I know, it's part of that weirdly specific genre of 80s media that falls into there.
Yeah.
Like Friday the 13th and Halloween as well, you can throw in there.
Halloween 70s, but
Uh, all right, yeah. But you get the idea.
yeah.
From what I heard, it's actually mostly good, except apparently it did something really weird in the last few minutes that they took from Alien 3, which, if I remember Alien 3, that's not a good sign. But apparently it was a return to form because the previous two movies were basically Ridley Scott being like, "Yo, man, the aliens. What if the aliens made us with black goo space vaginas and used donut ships to bomb the worlds, you know? Man, what if aliens are like gods and all?" And myself and no one else and everyone else pretty much disliked that. So
I don't remember anything about that in Alien 3, but
no, not. I'm not talking about Alien 3. I'm talking about Alien Prometheus and Covenant.
I've
The
never
one
seen
that
those.
don't. It it's base the plot for both of those is basically Ridley Scott rambles about how aliens are God and want to blow up humanity. However, when humans get to these planets, both them and the aliens are so stupid they end up using black goo to make xenomorphs. But
That's kind of
slightly
funny.
different. It sounds funny, but that's an idea spoken after like 20 seconds of speaking. It's infuriating watching 2 hours of it, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Not to mention they have this thing in those movies called the black goo. The idea is it breaks down and mutates DNA infinitely. So they claim they did that to one engineer and that made all life on Earth. Now that could be interesting, to be fair to Ridley Scott. The problem is in every movie, in both those movies, the only thing this biological weapon ever does is it makes discount xenomorphs basically, like a xenomorph but smoother and white, or it turns a guy into a zombie with a big head. That's
Hmm.
about as far as it goes.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope I can see it someday, but
It'll
Alien
probably be
Romulus.
on it'll probably be on Hulu soon.
Yeah. I don't have Hulu, so
Okay.
it'll take a while. Who knows?
uh
I mean Disney Plus is collapsing, so hopefully, maybe if I'm lucky, it'll get off there soon and be back on Netflix.
maybe. Um who's excited for Gladiator 2?
Not me.
I've
Not
never seen the original.
Okay, you're missing out. It's a
No,
very
I'm
good
not.
movie. Yes, you are. You have never even
because I,
seen it before.
because I don't like long historical dramas. I don't like that. That's boring to me.
That's certainly a take there.
Kill yourself.
No, deal with it.
I don't like long historical dramas like that are just it's boring to me. I don't care.
All right, you know what? I'm not going to bash your taste on that. So, but to put it quite simply, Gladiator was never a movie meant to have a sequel because it ends with the death of the Emperor Commodus. And because you don't care about watching the movie, essentially the main killer the main character kills the tyrant emperor who's insane, and they talk about we're going to be a republic again. Everything's going to be wonderful. In real life, this started a civil war which lasted for over 100 years and killed a third of the population.
Oh
So
hell
making
yeah.
making any sequel to this movie was basically going to be impossible to do well. And from everything I've seen in Gladiator 2, they're kind of just ignoring like the entire century long bloodbath that followed. And it's just some guy back there again in the Colosseum. And they have, I don't think Idris Elba is in the movie. Who's the one actor I'm thinking of? Because
Uh,
I looked at the list of actors for Gladiator
Russell
2, and
Crowe's in it.
oh my God, Pedro Pascal, not again.
What's wrong with Pedro Pascal?
He's in like he's one of those actors that's getting shoved everywhere
Because
right
he's
now.
good.
Look, he's a competent actor, but at a certain point, I don't want him in here.
He's a good actor. He was great in The Last of Us.
It's list of very random actors in this, like is it Denzel Washington.
That's not a random actor.
Look, I'll be honest here. With most actors, I don't really know anything about them. So if I
Oh,
can,
okay.
I can. My memory with them is amazing. If I can vaguely remember their name
Okay.
by my standards. Anyway,
Okay.
so I am not looking forward to this at all. This movie should not exist, and I have no idea what they're going to do with the whole, century-long bloodbath. I assume they're just going to not even acknowledge it,
Probably.
and all the marketing shows it in the Colosseum. And in the original movie, the whole point is that you're overthrowing the tyrant emperor via the Colosseum. If the plot of this movie is also in the Colosseum, it kind of seems to me like the whole point is just going to be repeating the first movie. But I really doubt you could get someone on the same caliber as Joaquin Phoenix to play basically the same villain.
Man, you mispronounced his name like crazy.
Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. What's the difference?
Joaquin, not Joaquin.
I'm
Slow
simply
down.
saying I'm saying the name faster. That's not different in pronunciation.
It's, oh my god.
You can't like slow a YouTube video down to half speed and tell me that's a different accent.
Uh,
Mm. All right, this movie's probably more up in your alley. Beetlejuice 2.
you know what's crazy?
What? It was
I don't
actually
even
good.
I don't even care for the original Beetlejuice all that much.
I was kind of hoping you did because I have no idea what the original Beetlejuice is about.
It's about this weird like dimension these people fall into, and like I think Beetlejuice is like several thousand years old, and he like plays with them for a while for something. There's a lot of good like effects for 1988, but that's all I remember from it.
Hmm.
Like it's not the most memorable thing in the world. It doesn't need a sequel in the year of our Lord 2024. But
I haven't really heard anyone talking about the movie's quality, which nowadays usually means it's okay instead of
well,
awful.
I don't know. It's probably maybe okay if no
Hmm.
one's saying anything too bad about it, but I don't really
Dang it.
care to ever watch it.
I thought that one would be up your alley.
No, that's not really my thing.
Well, Inside Out 2 came and went, and
Never saw it.
I heard it was good. I haven't seen it either. It made about $1.2 billion, which means Disney is going to be vampirizing that to keep their Agatha All Along shows alive for a few more months.
The fuck is Agatha?
So,
You
this
know what?
is
Don't tell me. You know what? Don't tell me. I don't need to know. I shouldn't have asked.
She is a side
I
character
don't
villain
no,
from.
I don't
Let
need
me
to know.
no. I want to. Let me just say this. She
I
is
don't
a
want-
side character from a spin-off of a Marvel TV show that stopped being good halfway through.
Okay.
So they're really scraping like the bottom of the barrel here.
I didn't need to know, but okay.
You didn't need to know. I just wanted to emphasize it because it frustrates me so much.
I thought you weren't even that much of a fan of him.
I like superheroes in general. So when I see
Okay.
them, so when I see these companies acting so incompetently, it just annoys me to no end. Anyway,
And I don't like superheroes, so I don't care.
have you seen Despicable Me 4 yet?
Why'd you ask that like I would have?
Well, last time we spoke, we were talking about the Deep Grew lore together.
No, we weren't. I told you I've never liked any of the. I've seen a couple of them, and I've never liked any of them. They're annoying movies made for like
Despicable,
they're much inferior to any animated movie because there's nothing going on. It's just pretty colors and dumb animation. Like it's illumination animation. Like it
well,
looks like shit.
whether you like it or not, Nick, Despicable Me is one of the most influential cultural movies made in the 21st century.
Because America sucks as a society. How do we let these
No,
things happen?
no, it's because baby boomers will take random screenshots from Despicable Me 4 of the Minions and they will be posting them on Facebook.
No, I don't like that.
It's the truth, Nick. It'll happen whether we
I
want it
don't
to or
care if it's the truth. I will complain about it regardless.
not.
First of all, let me complain. Don't ever tell me never complain. I fucking live to complain. It's the only reason I'm still alive. But second of
I
all,
know. I know.
it's like why are we we are stupid as a society? How do we find minions to be like the most like amazing thing to show kids? They have no moral, they have no story to them. They're most like cookie cutter factory made animated movie ever. And I hate hearing the excuse it's a kids movie, forget about it. There are so many kids movies that has actual like life lessons and morals that's actually worth teaching and is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we ever go back to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching the original Despicable Me, and if you look back on that one, the movie is actually pretty poignant with its themes of, an adoptive father, learning to actually, have a normal family and to care about them. And and
Well,
I know,
even then, that's a little cliche.
well, look, as much as it may be cliche, I still enjoy Despicable Me 1. I like that movie and I will defend it. But Despicable Me 4, when they're just advertising the Cheeto minion for some
There's a
reason,
fucking Cheeto minion.
yeah.
Oh
Well,
my god.
it's that giant round one with like the weird AIDS on its skin.
What?
That's like the main thing they marketed for the movie.
I don't know what the hell you've been seeing.
I've seen it on all the posters. You're not
I
keeping up
don't.
with the deep
No,
Drew lore. I know.
I don't keep up with this shit. I don't care. I feel like I'm like an alien from like a completely different planet, and I'm just like people watching.
I can't wait for us to have the same conversation when Despicable Me 5 inevitably
We are
comes
not
out.
going to have this conversation because there's not going to be a Despicable Me 5.
Look, Nick, I don't really think there should have been a Despicable Me movie after Despicable Me 1, but the truth of the matter is, whether we like it or not, these movies make money, and with Illumination, as long as they make money, they're going to do it.
No,
Illumination is not a studio with like high priorities or morals. Like it's kind of whatever keeps the lights on, they do. That's
that's
mainly what they do.
sad. That is a terrible way of running your company.
It, it it is, but you know what? It's keeping them alive as a company, which is more than Disney can say.
I
So
would love for them to go bankrupt.
it would be so hilarious to me if like the nightmare scenario happens of Disney actually going bankrupt and them getting bought out by Illumination.
I
Can
mean,
you imagine?
Disney's never going to go bankrupt.
Disney is going bankrupt.
It will never happen. There's too many dumb supporters watching their movies. It will never happen.
No.
They'll lose. Yeah, they'll lose a lot of money, but they got Disneyland and Disney World, and they're never gonna go out of business.
Have you seen the
Fucking
financial?
fucking fucking 20th century. They own 20th Century Fox. Like they're not
What,
gonna run out. They're not
Nick?
gonna go out of business.
Nick, ask yourself right now, what is making Disney its money right now?
Probably 20th Century Fox and Disneyland.
Well, most of their revenue is coming from the parks at this point. A minority of it is coming from the films and shows. And the people going to their parks and Disney World has been going down the past few years. Not to mention their projects they keep making are A, insanely expensive beyond any common sense, and B, it's just not gaining them anything. They're just kicking away fans. Every She-Hulk they make is another $300 million in the furnace. Every like Loki 2 and all these other shows, The Acolyte, what have
The
you.
fuck is
They
a
are
Loki?
they made a Marvel spin-off show of Loki.
I don't even know what a Loki is.
Loki. He's Thor's brother, the god of mischief.
Man, I really did not need to know any of that.
Yeah, well, I don't think Disney will remain financially solvent forever at this rate because they're just blowing through billions of dollars every month on projects
That
that don't bring them any revenue in. Disney Plus,
neither's Warner Brothers.
well, Disney Plus has never made Disney a cent of money, and their subscribers are going down right now. And they keep attacking and driving people away. No one is like praising Disney anymore. They keep crapping on it. That's the popular thing to do. And you look at what they have up in the pipeline, Pixar right now, they're all right. Like their main problem is their films are very hit and miss right now. Like for every Encanto and Luca they make right now, there's always like Strange World or Raya and the Last Dragon. But they still make good movies. Inside Out is going to keep the lights on at Disney for a bit longer. But I can't help but feel like Disney is just going to be like leeching off of Pixar more and more at this point as Marvel and Star Wars and every other franchise, stops bringing in money.
Are
And
they
I don't,
making another Star Wars movie?
the problem with Star Wars right now is one of many is they keep talking about how they're going to make a Rey movie. They've been talking about this on and off for years. They'll announce like 18 different Star Wars movies, cancel them all, but they'll spend like $5 million each trying to make them before giving up. They 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 want to make a Rey movie, and because they have no common sense with Kathleen Kennedy around, they'll try to make it. I don't know if they'll be successful in making it. If they do, it is going to be a flop because at this point they've burnt through all goodwill and it's just sheer hatred from the fan base at this point. Just look at The Acolyte to see what would happen if they made a Ray movie. That movie would not bring back its budget.
I don't even know what the Acolyte is.
Uh, it's basically Disney Plus. They made their latest live action Star Wars TV show, and it's written by the assistant. It's written by the main rape assistant. Sorry, of Harvey Weinstein. You know, yeah, I'm dead serious. They took Harvey Weinstein's second in command, who talks about how, oh, I was abused by him. I didn't help at all with any of the rapings and the such. I didn't even know, for years and years. I didn't know, guys. She's been, that's the kind of caliber of person we're working with here.
Huh.
And she basically made a show about a coven of lesbian Sith space witches where the Jedi are all mentally incompetent or villainous, with two identical twin sisters. And it is just so horrifically bad, the entire internet united to meme around it.
I know nothing about it.
It got dogpiled so badly that they canceled it based on the backlash alone.
Huh.
That and it wasn't bringing in enough viewers at all. Which, if Star Wars can't feed the Disney war machine, and Marvel can't feed the Disney war machine, what exactly is going to feed it?
Nothing.
Well, Pixar, they still make good movies. Like there's a 50-50 shot each movie they make's good. But I really
Okay.
don't think Pixar alone can sustain like what Disney has become at this point.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Anyway, where did we even start off with that topic?
I don't know what topic we were even on.
All right, I'm going to take the Acolyte in the blue category.
Cartoon Network is not dead. They still air shows. They still have a
I, I,
network.
heard, I heard that wrong, to be clear. What did
Okay.
happen is they took Boomerang, the network owned by Cartoon Network, for all their classic shows.
Yeah,
And they took that.
Boomerang I think's dying, but
Oh no, they took that round the shed and just shot that in the head with no ceremony at all. They just got rid of it one day.
yeah, Boomerang's dead, but Cartoon Network's still existing. Cartoon Network sometimes airs some older stuff.
Cartoon Network on its own probably won't exist for much longer because they're trying to fire like 70% of the staff. You see,
Well, the thing is, Adult Swim is more popular than Cartoon Network. So
well,
if they were ever to get rid of one of them, it's probably going to be Cartoon Network and then make Adult Swim like its own thing.
well, Cartoon Network was thriving for years. They just went. The first problem is they went all in on making every show Teen Titans Go, which everyone hated. And the
Yeah,
second problem was they got owned by that one retard who took over HBO Max, who I talked about. I think our first or second episode we ever made, where
David Zlazoff.
oh yeah, that idiot. His whole theory behind how making money works for streaming services is that because you have to pay a tiny percent of the money you get from subscriptions to the actors who and people who made your shows, his idea is if you just get rid of all the shows on your streaming service, that will mean you won't have to pay those actors and hence you'll make money.
Yeah.
In reality, HBO Max at this point went from a fairly respected streaming service to a crippled joke that pretty much everybody only gets from Amazon. And the only way I can describe the relationship between Cartoon Network and this one moron is it's like having someone you know getting held hostage by a psychotic, mentally ill lunatic with a machete. It, this this one random domestic abuser who just keeps chopping bit after bit off and thinks he's doing the right thing, when in reality everyone else is staring in horror at what he's doing. Every decision he's made at this point has been just horrendous for his company and his employees, which is why what's left of Cartoon Network is on strike because of his incompetence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's my little rant because he and his kind are pretty much the perfect reason why I'm no longer on board with modern capitalism at this point. Just a bunch of morons constantly taking over, like, what if we just fired everyone?
Yeah, capitalism sucks.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm not a communist. I'm never going down that road, but
Are you
I
a
am not
socialist?
conservative socialism, kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of free market. It. I'd have to give you a small philosophy lesson on it, but it's
I don't
essentially.
want the lesson.
All right, fine.
Forget I even asked.
All right.
But I'm glad you're waking up that capitalism sucks.
Hmm.
Because I've known that for years.
See.
Anyway, they remade The Office?
Now, Australia is making an all-female reboot of The Office in the same style as the 2016 Ghostbusters remake.
I've never even heard of it.
Yep, well, I saw the trailer for it, and it's basically...
Oh, there's a trailer.
Oh yeah, they made a trailer for it, and it has such amazing
Okay.
hard-hitting comedy as, oh wow, I forgot the name of your dead parrot. I'm so sorry.
I mean, to be fair, The Office is not really funny either. I find The Office almost insufferable.
I won't pretend to be a massive fan of The Office, but I just can't stand these shows that are mainly written by college millennials, where it's like, we are so edgy, we misnamed a man's dead parrot and our character didn't correct it. Please laugh. I'm just tired of that.
The Office is probably one of my least favorite shows ever. So it's not my thing.
Did you hear what happened to the Internet Archive?
No, what happened to it?
Oh, well, they recently got kicked in the balls, for lack of better term, because during the pandemic, because so many libraries were closed down, normally you can only, if they have one copy of a book in their online archive, only one person at a time could take that out and read it
Yeah,
online. However, they removed that restriction during the pandemic, to help children be able to read and help
yeah.
society. But unfortunately for them, they made the mistake of crossing the line of every book publisher known to man, apparently, who basically sued them to remove over 500,000 different books from their registry so that people can't read them
Damn.
anymore. And they're talking about how amazing this will be for their copyright protection. We have to defend this. We can't let the Internet Archive violate this.
Bruh. What do you
It's
gain from that?
no, it's some this is one of the many reasons why I'm not a capitalist anymore. It's because every day there's like a new news story like this. Where have you ever played the video game Star Sector or heard of it?
I've never heard of it.
It's basically a space strategy game that takes place in another dark age where human civilization collapsed and there's these warlords in space. The game's explanation for why technology is so bad compared to the godlike heights it used to be is because all the companies either patented or DRM'd all their technology and never told anyone about it. They sued everyone who tried to learn how to use it. So when the collapse happened, everyone just forgot. And
Hmm.
when I first read that in the game, I was like, bullshit, that never happened. That's just straight up real life at this point.
I am
Like,
so happy that you have escaped capitalism. That makes me really happy.
I'm on a 500,000 books they just nuked off the face of the earth for copyright infringement. And it's like, look, I can understand being upset, because you legally do have to protect your copyright if you want to keep it, because
Sure.
American law is weird like that. At
Yeah.
the same time, firstly, that people need to be able to read your book, not just for media preservation, but people who read your book online are a lot more likely to buy the physical copy instead of not knowing it ever existed. And secondly, what genuinely happens if we have like an actual, another fall of Rome where we don't preserve any of this damn media? Like, I remember reading in history about how when the Soviets went through the Baltics and occupied during World War II, during the reign of terror they unleashed, they were taking like entire hundreds of libraries and like burning every last book inside. So when the Baltics got free, they tried to like see if they could save any of those books. There's just like thousands, lists upon list of thousands of books in Latvia and Lithuania where they just have like the name and author of a book, but the book itself, every last copy was destroyed. You will never know what that book was. And I look at this where it's 500,000 of them gone. A lot of those books just were never publicated. Like, sure, if you go through the list, it's like a bunch of copies of 1984 make the list that
Hmm.
are counted as separate books for legal reasons. But genuinely,
Yeah.
this is like disgusting behavior, in my opinion.
I'm happy you're coming around.
Oh, all right.
I feel like there's like you're like a completely different person now, and I love that.
All right. That's now you're sounding creepy.
I'm so happy you're no longer this capitalist person.
Hmm. What do we? Oh, I know the great debate. What?
What?
What would you like to cover?
I guess we could talk about Pal World,
Oh yeah,
since
great.
again, as always, I don't know anything about it.
All right. Now it's pretty simple to understand, actually. A lot of Pokemon fans don't like how Nintendo's handling the franchise
Yeah,
because Nintendo's not doing well right now in terms of competency with their games. So
yeah.
studio, I think from Taiwan, made a game called Pow World. It's essentially an open world game where you collect Pokemon like creatures with guns, and you take them down and you hunt them and you capture them, and you essentially form an army of these, pals, building up your settlements as you explore the island. And it became a massive success. And because the developers of Power World are decent people, they went to Pokemon and Nintendo, and they're like, "Hey guys, we want to make this game. This doesn't infringe on your copyright, right? We don't, we don't want to ruin your copyright." And Nintendo was like, "Sure thing, bud. Looks good to us. Make it." So Power World was a massive success. It sold over 12 million units or something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for a few years, no one bothered the game because people liked it.
That's been around for a couple of years now.
Maybe.
I thought that came out like a year ago.
Well, all right, I stand corrected. It came out at the beginning of this year, but
I was gonna say that
all right,
didn't
that's my
seem
fault.
right.
It's a very popular game, and people
Okay.
liked it. Now
Yeah.
Nintendo is suing it for patent violation.
Why?
Now, you see, according to Nintendo, they violated the patent on the video game systems of Pokemon with capturing creatures and using them in battle. I would like to point now. Other people would maybe like to point out that Pokemon is not original in the least, with
No.
stuff like Digimon, Bakugan, hell, Yu-Gi-Oh, and all of these different franchises, and that it's insane to try and patent just a way of doing things in video games, and that shouldn't be legitimate. Some people would say that, like moi, but Nintendo begs to differ, and now they're taking it to court.
I feel like some company did that one time for like how you pause games back in the day.
Yeah, I
I
know.
forget, but I forget which one it was.
I know the company that made those Shadow of War games set in Lord of the Rings patented their Nemesis system, which was really praised, but no one can use it apparently because of what they did.
Oh,
It's very. I really don't think that part should be legal, in my opinion. The whole just blatantly outlawing doing things the same way, because if, say, Call of Duty did that when they came out, you'd have several thousand video games just not existing, and the world would be a worse off place for that. Just in
yeah.
my own opinion. The brass tacks of this is whether or not Nintendo can successfully screw over Power World with the whole lawsuit, which is taking place in Japan.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, apparently they can't sue them for copyright since they admitted it doesn't breach that. Now they're
Yeah.
fighting it over patent lawsuits, which, given the fact it's Japan, I am very hazy on how the legal system there would handle it. And I'm wary because Japan isn't South Korea levels of like corporate dystopia, but Nintendo versus random Taiwanese studio is not like a battle I have high hopes for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just pretty much hoping the judge here looks at Nintendo and it's like, they asked you if they could make this, and you said yes. Live with it. Because I guarantee you, if Nintendo actually gets away with this, they're going, instead of making like a new good Pokemon game, they're going to spend 90% of their resources, like how they did in 2018, harassing YouTubers endlessly for playing their games. Like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of Fire Emblem like games that came out recently that I've been
Ugh.
enjoying because the latest Fire Emblem wasn't liked by a lot of fans, myself included. And if they can go after Power World because it plays similar, therefore it ours. If an argument that vague is apparently legally valid, then what's to stop Nintendo from saying every video game ever copies us? We want them all gone. It, it, I just can't believe this behavior because they're about to release the Switch 2. People are excited for that.
Whenever that
Xbox,
gets announced.
well, it's estimated, it's pretty much all but confirmed. They're going to announce it at least in 2025. So people are excited. Xbox and PlayStation are busy like jumping on garden rakes. So all they have to do is say nothing, do nothing, and you win. And they're like, no. We must burn our own reputation ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been rough for me as an Xbox fan because for like the past few months,
Imagine
they've
playing
just kind of
Xbox.
they've what?
What?
What'd you say about Xbox?
Nothing.
Nick, if you don't, I get you're a PC gamer. If you don't like it, I'm not going to throw a fit over that. I, I just am so confused with what's happening with Xbox right now because their CEO, Phil Spencer, who's also an idiot like the HBO Max guy, is
Yeah.
talking like it's just not true that if we make good games, people will buy our console. That's just a lie. I, I, I can't help but think to myself, like, people buy the PlayStation 5, if you go into a store, is bundled with Spider-Man 2 for a reason. Because people like that game. And if they want to play it, they'll play it on PlayStation. And if you guys made things other than Concord, you might have a bit more successes on your hands. Eh, It's just so bizarre because Microsoft is this keeps looking at Xbox. Was like, okay, we need some help. Our CEO is incompetent. We need some more marketing budget. We need a few more games to make. And Microsoft's like, got it, buddy. We're going to cut your entire advertising budget to Europe. And it's like, do you want us to make money or not?
Yeah.
And now they're taking Xbox exclusives and putting them on PlayStation and PC. And it's like, that's going to kill your console, you idiots.
Yeah.
It's not just because like I'm invested in the Xbox because I got it as a kid almost a decade ago. I have a lot of games on it I love.
Yeah.
It's just I'm at the point where I am genuinely dumbfounded by how when it comes to these CEOs, it's like Darwinism seems to apply in reverse. Like the stupider someone is, the higher up the ladder they will inevitably climb. I need water.
Bro's getting thirsty.
So I'm getting to the point where you talk for so long, your spit starts foaming in your mouth. So
That's how passionate you are about this.
yeah. Anyway,
I've just been playing. I'm just playing Minecraft in the background.
good choice. I've
I
been
mean,
playing.
why not play it?
Yeah, I've been mainly playing Dying Light 2. I got that pre-owned at GameStop. So
Oh, I I don't know anything about it.
it's an open world zombie game based on parkour. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend it because the tutorial is 5 hours long. So
That's funny. I've been playing Elden Ring a little
how
bit.
is it fun?
I don't love it.
I don't blame you.
I don't love it. It's okay of a game, but it's a very hard game for one thing.
Have you ever played any of the Dark Souls games or like Lies of
No.
P?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I'll be honest. If I was to recommend any game to get into the genre, it'd be like any but Elden Ring, because I beat both Dark Souls 1 and 3, and I beat Elden Ring eventually, but I got close to like an actual mental breakdown by the end of that final boss.
I bet.
I died like 108 times for everything, unironically.
I I bet.
Yes. So,
Yeah,
holy-
it's an okay game, and I'll probably beat it, but I don't love it.
yeah. Me and my mom actually watched A Quiet Place 3 recently. That new movie.
That's unfortunate.
What do you mean?
None of the A Quiet Place movies have been good.
All right, I'm going to skip this straight one since I wanted this to be a positive subject, but apparently we're not going to. All right, Furiosa versus Garfield. The great
I've never seen Furiosa, and I will never watch Garfield.
I just thought it was funny. that, hold up, Furiosa made $172 million. What was Garfield's box? Oh my God, it's true. The Garfield movie made like $100 million more dollars than Furiosa did.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
I find it hilarious how Garfield, voiced by Chris Pratt, which was an awful decision, just just somehow blew a major franchise out of the water completely. And what makes it even funnier and kind of sad is, from everything I've heard about Furiosa, it seems like a genuinely great movie.
It
But
does seem like a good movie.
the fact it lost to Garfield despite being great just makes it funny to.
It's kind of sad.
It is kind of sad, but at the same time, it's kind of like hearing, like, 5 years from now, the next Batman movie was defeated by, well, Shrek 9 or something like that.
Who the hell's gonna watch Shrek 9?
It's just a statement that's so baffling to hear you can't help but laugh.
Oh yeah, didn't they announce Shrek 5?
Yes, they're theoretically working on it.
I'll add that to
Yeah.
the list of movies I am not watching.
I hope it's good. DreamWorks and Pixar right now are very schizophrenic with their movie output, where they'll make a amazing movie that'll get them lots of praise, like the new Puss in Boots movie or Inside Out 2, and then they'll release like straight bombs, like the, what was it, the Little Mermaids competitor DreamWorks made, or Ray and the Last Dragon. So I really want Shrek 5 to be good. I really want it to turn out well. I'm not sure if it will. I can only hope.
And then there's me, who kind of just doesn't really care because I don't really care for Shrek that much.
Well, Shrek 3 and 4 were kind of painful to watch, is the best way I can say it.
I didn't. Well, you made me watch the first one, and I didn't even really care for it.
Look, the thing is, Shrek 4 is like the point in which animation started to become too good, which is, the way I describe it is, when you start to notice that the animated characters have like skin pores animated on them, is when you're
Oh
getting.
yeah,
I don't. Maybe this is just a me thing, but if I start noticing that on like any animated character, it makes me feel really gross. And
I can see that.
at least with Shrek 4, that problem permeates that entire movie with the animation, where everything's a bit too detailed.
Yeah,
You kind of have to watch it to understand, but
I
you don't
kind of
want.
get what you mean. I kind of get what you mean from like watching other movies, but I can see it.
It's kind of like with the Horizon games when they released their sequel on the PS5. They got laughed out of the room because their main talk about their graphics was that they gave the main character Peach Fuzz that was
Oh
animated.
yeah, I've heard about
And
that.
and everyone was like, "This is what you're doing with this hardware."
Yeah,
What was I?
it's just a little weird.
All right. Do you care about Dead Rising?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, no. It's a zombie video game series that got a remake, but
Oh, okay.
the remake seems very weird in terms of quality, since the backgrounds and look great. The characters' AI has been improved massively, but all the character models look like they were farmed out to that same Chinese company that made the remake for the first three Grand Theft Auto games. It's
Oh, that's funny.
a really bizarre clash of quality.
That's really funny.
Let's see.
I've played those remakes. They run okay. That's all I'll say about it.
Look, I'll be honest. Dead Rising is the kind of game that needs a remake because it's old as ass, even if the original is good. But I really don't. It just looks very weird. Like, it's not like Resident Evil 4, where those kinds of remakes, where it all looks like it's from the same developer. When I see how different the models are from everything, it kind of gives me like the Unity asset flip kind of look.
Oh God.
Well, Now, I need your help here. There's a new horror movie coming out where that looks good to me. It
Okay.
has the black family in the cabin with that tie the ropes around their ankles, and I can't remember if the name is Gone Too Soon or Not Too Soon.
Wait, what? None of those are the name. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is, but I know that's not even the name.
Hold up.
What movie are you talking about?
There's some horror movie coming out with this one black family in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and there's like zombies or something there. Right, damn it. I can't find the name of it.
Is it
Never.
coming out this year?
Yes, Never Let Go. That's the movie I'm thinking of.
I've never heard of it.
Oh. I've seen the trailers and it looks pretty great, though.
Let's see, so
I
it
think
comes out. Oh, it's already out.
that's weird.
It came out on 4 days ago.
That's
It has
weird.
only made $4.5 million on a 20 million box out of 20 million budget.
That's sad.
Well, it's only been out for 4 days.
Yeah, but that's not a good sign.
And also, if like me was never heard of it, like I've never even seen a trailer for it.
Well, I'm mentioning it because I saw the trailers and they looked real good to me.
Okay, so it might be
But
good.
yeah, that worries me.
It could be good. I don't know.
All right. Have you seen the 28 Years Later movie? Sorry, the 28 Days Later?
Yeah, I've seen that.
They're making 28 Years Later.
I know. I've heard about that. I have no real intention to watch it because I thought the 28 days was okay, and I've never seen 28 weeks.
What happened to 28 Months Later? I thought that was supposed to be the sequel.
Yeah, I think that's what they for a long time. That's what they were supposed to be making, and then they just never did it
Yeah,
for
I don't.
whatever reason.
The thing about this zombie apocalypse is I don't really know how a 28 years later is supposed to work because the zombies from the original film and comic died in like a month en masse from starvation in the span of like a month after the outbreak started. 90% of those zombies were dead. So even if that thing went to every corner of the world, that is not an apocalypse that could last 28 years.
I don't know. I don't even know is 20th Century making it still,
Uh,
because I thought they
Dan-
lost the rights to it because that's why 28 Days Later is not available to stream anywhere.
Written by Danny Boyle and Alex Garland.
Well, yeah, I knew that.
Columbia Pictures.
Oh, Sony's releasing it. Okay,
Hmm.
that's
Apparently,
interesting.
it's only $75 million. That's pretty cheap for a modern movie.
Well, the original movie. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. I liked it.
I mean, it's shot on like a fucking like camcorder from like the early 2000s.
I know. I'm just kind of used to every piece of media nowadays being like a $500 million production. So
Fair,
that's
but
actually a good sign to me that the budget is low because nowadays, if a film doesn't have a high budget, that usually means they have to actually work to make it function, you know?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna see it because I don't really care enough to see it, but it could be good.
Let's see. They're make the Snow White movie is still in development hell.
Okay,
Well, they replaced the 12 magical creatures with the 12 hideous CGI dwarves. So,
okay, that's interesting.
yeah. You know what? I'm actually going to really love that this film exists, which will sound like I was taken over by one of those plant people from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But I, the thing about Snow White, this movie, the reason I want it to release is that I hope it will be such a catastrophic failure. It will finally be the movie to snap Disney out of their live action remake craze because they've had some failures before, like with Pan and Wendy. But this one, if they had to reshoot the entire movie via CGI, and it's not going to make back its budget with the media nightmare Rachel Ziegler has been causing it for like the past 2 years straight. That I am hoping this is basically like the cinematic Titanic that will get Disney to wake up to what's going on.
I doubt it.
I don't think it's going to do well. That's pretty much certain at this point, but it's I just hope it snaps Disney out of this.
Maybe. But I
But
doubt
also,
it. I'm sure it'll make at least a little bit of money for them.
though, in good news, they're making Venom 3.
Well, how is that good news?
Because I am a fan of both Venom movies. I
That's
unironically enjoy them.
you are weird.
What?
You're
dumb,
weird.
What? They're dumb, funny movies.
No, they're not. They're not good. That's
They
like
got
saying
great-
that's like saying you like Morbius.
You know what? Hot take. I unironically did enjoy Morbius.
You should kill yourself.
I am not one of those 5-star reviewers who was memeing the movies to get Sony to bleed more money. I unironically didn't hate the movie. It wasn't amazing, but it was perfectly servable in my opinion.
You should be locked away.
No.
You should be like maybe jail.
No.
Maybe jail would be good for you.
You haven't seen the truth.
Or a psychiatric ward.
Because I think Morbius is a all right 6 out of 10 movie.
Yes.
Mm.
Do you want to know how I saw Morbius?
Oh.
I saw it in the best way possible.
Wasn't it the airplane with it muted?
Yeah, you remembered. Yeah, that's how I saw it, and that's the best way to see it.
Mm.
Well, I had subtitles on. Got that part wrong, but
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You're missing audio experience.
No, I didn't. I missed absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
I watched it the way everyone should have seen it.
Can't wait for Morbius 2.
That's not happening.
If Sony makes one last movie, it has to be Morbius 2.
One last movie. What are you yapping about?
I'm saying if that ever did happen to Sony.
If that ever were to happen, Morbius 2 would like kill it with like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would kill like a fucking disease.
What is this?
What?
I'm on a Google search for new movies, and one of them looks like the cast of The Last Airbender, animated but older.
Oh, okay.
They're making.
I'm personally excited to see the Michael Jackson movie next year. That's gonna be fun.
Oh. Oh yeah, they are making a Last Airbender animated movie.
Okay. I've still never seen the show.
I still think you should. It's a great show.
I might like it. I don't know. It's possible I like it.
Look, it was made in that 10-year golden age that happened before Teen Titans Go, like murdered, competent children's animation.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much one of the best products of its time.
We'll see.
This isn't really movie news, but did you see what happened to Nikocado Avocado?
I did see that. That's actually really funny.
I don't know if he's like overdosing on Ozempic or something, but the whole time he was talking like a psychotic supervillain.
It's really funny.
Isn't he going back to mukbang though?
I don't know. I don't watch his videos, so I have no idea.
Neither do I, but I just found the whole episode bizarre where no one hears from him from a year. He comes back talking like Bane from the Dark Knight movies.
I mean, good for him. Good. I mean, if it's for real that it was an actual like social experiment, that's a good like. I would love to do something like that. Because I love like psychology and stuff like that. So good if that's for real, good. But
Mhm.
it's not going to make me watch his content though.
Oh God, no.
I do not care at all about it.
There are a few things in life I hate more than mukbang. I I don't like the sound of people eating, and when I watch someone set down like 2 tubs of cakes, dipping them in like fried oil and like eating them with the mouth open next to the microphone camera, I can't help but think, but you're eating like a pig in a trough. Cut that out.
uh, that's such a funny like way of describing it.
Because it's true.
Yeah, I guess it is, but that's just really funny how you described it.
Yeah. They're making, I just want to point something out that they're making Moana 2 and the live action remake of Moana 1 within like 1 year of each other.
I've never seen Moana.
It's a decent animated movie. It's from that brief 2000s Disney period where they had like Tangled, Frozen, Moana, those kinds of 3D princess movies. Moana itself is a good movie. I'm not sure how Moana 2 will be, but I think it kind of is just bizarre. They're making both the live action remake and the sequel at the exact same time.
I can't imagine it being that good.
The sequel might be all right, but the live action one, they're having Dwayne the Rock Johnson playing
Ugh.
as and Mao. I hate to be the bad guy here, but Maui has hair, a lot of it. And last I checked, Dwayne is he's as bald as a bald eagle.
I don't like The Rock. I don't like Dwayne.
He's an all right actor, but
No,
he
he's
is not. In my opinion, then he's an all right actor, but he does not look like Maui.
He's a terrible actor.
I don't want to. It's just if they're casting him in a live action remake of I kind of just know that the cringe is incoming.
It kind of just irritates me whenever he's in a movie.
Just irritated by his existence.
Yeah. It's like a list of people that I want to like disappear.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
I just want certain people to disappear.
good to know, Nick.
Yep.
I'm glad to know as your great and trusted friend. I'm not on that list.
Okay.
All right, I'm taking that as a yes. I'm not on there anyway. So
I don't know. Maybe.
in a world making Avatar 3, I decided to recommend something better than that. You see, the week I got back home from surgery and was lying in bed in complete agony all night, I have watched a show on Amazon that I think you'd actually really love called
Okay.
Scavenger Rain. And it's a 2D animated show about this ship that crashed onto this completely alien world with absolutely bizarre kinds of life forms all over it. And it's these different groups of the crew that are like trying to essentially work their way back to the main ship so that they can leave the planet. And it's mainly focused on just how these people survive, the isolation and how the environment interacts with itself and with them, whether they want it to or not. It got beautiful animation and music. It is one of those shows that has a great ending, but it has an after credit scene that's like 2 minutes long that it's not even bad. It just like greatly confuses you.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely recommend it. It's an amazing hard sci-fi show.
Okay.
And it's like 12 episodes long, so.
Okay.
All right. That was the happy moment. And last one. It's just something interesting I noticed is that with, say, Concorde imploding, if you heard about that story,
Nope.
basically Sony tried to make a live action service game a live service
Oh, wait, yeah, I have heard about that. Never mind.
which cost them, which exploded like the Hindenburg, costing them over $300 million.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Never mind.
Yeah, I find it interesting how with video games recently, all the game studios were putting their resources only into live service games. Like Phil Spencer from Xbox, that genius scholar and theologian, was years ago telling all his studios, stop making single player games. Only live service games are worth any money. But nowadays, the when you look at games that are succeeding, you have like Lies of P, Astral Blade, Black Myth Wukong, these single player games which are just blowing these live service games out of the water. While
Mm-hmm.
meanwhile, existing ones like Overwatch 2 are just dying. It
Well, it's because nobody plays Overwatch.
Well, people did play Overwatch. They executed Overwatch behind the shed and replaced it with Overwatch 2,
I
which
mean,
has been.
I kind of wish they would just end Overwatch forever, but
I just don't like how if you bought Overwatch with your own money, your game got forcibly turned into a completely different game without your consent. Like,
yeah, they did that for CS:GO too.
yeah, I am pretty massive on like if you buy a thing, you own it, and you should be, and no company should be able to just screw around with it, whether they.
Okay. Yes. However, I guess technically, when you do buy something like a game or something online, you're not buying the game, you're buying a license. It isn't like when you buy a game at the store, like you own the game.
Yep.
They can't take it away. They can't like send the FBI after you and take it away from you.
You're
It's
not wrong.
basically when you're buying it online, you're buying a license to play it. Which for some stupid reason, even if you do give them money to get a license to it, they can revoke it without your permission.
You're not wrong about that, Nick. It's just, in my opinion, I don't think that should be legal at all, and I really
No, it
don't.
shouldn't be. It
And I
absolutely shouldn't be.
and I and I personally don't see any like legal justification for that actually being legal currently,
It
because we
shouldn't
would
be
not.
legal.
Because first off, they never advertise that fact honestly to anyone that if you buy an online game, you don't own it. We can just steal it or change it, no matter what. And that kind of attitude towards property is not applied anywhere else in the American legal system. If I buy, if I bought two books from Barnes and Noble a few days ago, if I wake up and find like a secretary from Barnes and Noble having like just burned the book in front of me, I can like sue and demand another copy back because
Yeah.
everyone accepts the fact they took my property and destroyed it. If you do that with anything purchased online, magically it's just dust in the wind. They can do with what they please.
Yep.
Not to mention,
It's not right.
not to mention, it's just the attitude I can see creeping in, where between not only just the streaming services where you rent those, you don't own those,
Yeah,
and
same thing.
the games where you don't own it, we gave you a license. It's giving companies a very like disturbing attitude towards how property and people work, and I think that needs to be crushed like a wormy apple before it can like evolve where it's going.
Yeah, there's been a lot of companies that have done that.
Mhm. Yeah. Though I do find it kind of bizarre because like the two last massive single player successes, like Astro Blade and Black Myth Wukong, were both made by mobile game developers from East Asia who
Mm-hmm.
use massive amounts of microtransactions. And I
Ugh.
find the thing is, Nick, a decade ago, those companies were like what infected like the Battlefront 2s of the world in the West with those kinds
Mm-hmm.
of microtransactions. They're the patient zero. But it seems to me these companies are basically using the massive amounts of profits they're getting from their mobile games, and they're using it to make single player games that don't have any microtransactions in them. Now, I'm not going to be some delusional sycophant who trusts them completely. Their past behavior is a bit questionable, but
Um,
I do find it a really strange trend. What I'm wondering is if this is like a two off thing or if it's going to repeat. Because if I was an East Asian businessman with a popular mobile game right now, I'd be looking at Black Myth Wukong getting like 12 million players. Hold up. See ya. Will do. See ya. I'd be looking at Black Myth Wukong and then back at my own mobile game, and I'd be talking to all the East Asian programmers like, all right, guys, how can we do this? Because if they can actually just rely on mobile game profits to avoid putting microtransactions in, if things go well for once, that could actually be a massive trend, which I hope it is. Hello?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I just kind of wish they wouldn't take away like your license for it. But also, it also means you should get physical media always.
Mm-hmm.
Always buy anything physical if you can. That's why I love collecting like Blu-rays and stuff.
That's why I buy pretty much only pre-owned video games, because I can get the cases and the game cheap.
Yeah. That's what everyone should do.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Everything. Go to your local GameStop. Please keep it open. Keep it alive for a bit.
Well, I wouldn't say keep GameStop open. I kind of want GameStop to go out of business, but
You do understand if GameStop does die, that's a very quick slope towards like physical video game media dying as well.
I mean,
There's not
I guess.
like outside of GameStop, it's mainly pre-owned video game stores, and that alone is not going to be able to keep physical media alive for video games.
Yeah, I guess so.
Otherwise, you're going to.
I just don't like GameStop.
Look, otherwise, we'll end up with a Best Buy situation. Have you ever been in a Best Buy the past few years?
Well, I know they don't sell Blu-rays anymore.
I used to love Best Buy as a kid. I walked in there with my dad after not being in one for like 5 years, and it's like going to the Palace of Versailles and finding out it got turned into a hipster's crack den, because the main attraction they were selling there was AI Bluetooth powered light bulbs.
Huh? What?
Yep, that was the main thing.
What the fuck is that?
Apparently light bulbs that use AI and Bluetooth to operate. So if there's any type like signal outage, you can't control the lights in your own house. This is somehow treated as if technology is advancing. In my opinion, just putting AI and all this stuff is causing it to go backwards. This is evolving, but backwards.
I don't know. I don't understand how you can use a light bulb for AI.
I assume they mean you can change it with an app on your phone, whether you turn them off and on.
Because yes, there have been in the past like Philips Hues, for example, where you can control the color of the lights on your phone. Like that does exist. But what does AI have to do with it?
I don't know. This sounds like an amazing way to just make it so your house can be hacked.
Yeah, that sounds like that.
Yeah. And I went to the media section, the book section they had.
I bet that's a tragedy.
Oh God. Let's just go down it's like walking past where a firing squad was. Okay. They had an entire book section for like video game guides and all that stuff. And that was gone.
Well, to be fair, there isn't like Prima Games doesn't exist anymore.
Well, yeah, that was gone. The merchandise area for video games, that was gone. They had multiple bins filled with hundreds of pre-owned video games. That's how I played Fallout 3 from there. Those are gone.
I think Best Buy stopped doing pre-owned games like before the pandemic.
Yeah, but the thing is, with their original video game section, the only one they bother to slightly stock is the Nintendo one. If you go through the PlayStation and Xbox aisle they have, it's 2/3 of it is just empty. And the remaining thing they have is Starfield, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Back for Blood, and a few other games in that sad lineup, or the newest FIFA game.
I mean, those are probably the cheapest ones to buy from.
They're $50 or $60 each.
No, I mean like for easy for Best Buy to sell in their store.
Yeah, well, maybe. And with the movie section, it's like an aisle or two.
Yeah,
That's it.
well, this year they at the beginning of this year they changed it so they no longer sell Blu-rays at Best Buy anymore.
What do they sell anymore? Is
Refrigerators, washing machines.
what is the management of Best Buy thinking where they're like, video games, movies, and books are not popular,
I
but
mean,
any Bluetooth
to be
light bulb.
fair, anytime that I've been to a Best Buy, I don't think I've ever bought a game or a movie from there. I think I've only ever bought like a phone or a computer from there before. They're mainly like, yeah, they should have like games and movies and stuff. But probably what they make the most money on is probably like refrigerators or washing machines or computers.
I'm not disagreeing with that, Nick. I'm pointing out that they are actively choosing to scrap like half the things they sell to replace it with AI powered light bulbs.
That's
You
ridiculous.
cannot convince me that your fucking AI Chat GPT light bulbs sell more than video games and books combined. You can't convince me of that. They got
Yeah.
scammed.
Yeah, they did.
Not to mention with their tech, and the cherry on top is that they have almost no employees anymore for some reason. Their
Well,
tech
that's like
support.
that's like any retail store.
Well, no, the tech support line was across like the entire store. We had to go to this to fix my computer. We went to this Micro Center store. Place is
Oh yeah,
stuffed.
Micro Center. They're a really good store.
Yeah, they have a few dozen people who are working there, fixing stuff, doing stuff on time.
Mm-hmm.
Customer service is great. I just casually talked to one of the employees there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we are working on getting a video game selection here." So if I was Best Buy, I'd be careful because Micro Center right now, I don't think they're a big company, but they're definitely an up and coming, dagger to the heart if they don't sort their crap out.
I think there's Micro Centers all around the U.S.
Good.
Yeah, they've been around since 1979.
Good. Best Buy is
So
at the point where either it needs a kick in the balls to get back to reality, or it needs to be like put out of its misery, like smothered in bed.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
What a sad like world we live in.
Oh, come on, Nick. We still have Pal World for now.
No, I've never played Pal World. I'm not going to.
Hmm.
Why would I play Pal World? I don't even like Pokemon.
Well, Nick, as for all the sad things in life, you need to keep your eye on what's important, the happy things in life. We still live in a world where we get blessed with Venom 3.
No.
And
Shut the fuck up about Venom 3.
we'll soon get the live action Moana with bald Maui.
No. Shut the fuck up about Moana.
I mean, we are the timeline that will get, the Despicable Me 5, probably a
Shut the
Minions.
fuck up about Despicable Me 5. That's not happening.
Hmm.
I'll be locked away in an asylum before that happens.
I honestly doubt that.
Just like a Minions movie.
Well, anyways, I kind of need to make lunch now, so we should probably wrap this up.
What's our next recommendations?
I do not have my list of movies to recommend you, to be frank. So,
Pick a movie.
unless you want to watch Scavenger's Reign for the recommendation, I'm
not watching that. What is one of your favorite movies of all time? Since you destroyed one of mine, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Maybe Return of the Jedi.
I'm not watching Star Wars. Pick another one.
Give me a second. I have to pull open Netflix.
I'm not watching Star Wars. You couldn't pay me to watch Star Wars.
Why?
Because it's garbage. I wish George Lucas died.
You're the kind of person that likes all that jazz, but Star Wars is apparently garbage to you.
Yeah, because all that jazz is creative.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, creativity and good don't mean the same thing.
I also don't really care for science fiction either.
Let's see. I like The Prince of Egypt.
What the hell is the Prince of Egypt?
It's a DreamWorks animated movie from 1998 about Moses, about his confrontation with the Pharaoh. It's an amazing movie.
Okay.
Hmm. Let's see. Zack Snyder just made a animated show about Norse mythology. I'm sure that one will be beautiful, beautiful to watch. Uh, 300.
Oh,
That's my
I've seen
recommend.
that. I've seen that before. Okay.
All right. So, do you want to go with 300?
Sure, I'll do 300, I guess.
I mean, they did make a sequel to 300 if you want to watch that instead.
No, I'm okay. What am I picking?
Oh, wait, no, I have an idea. White
What?
Chicks. White
No,
Chicks.
I'm not watching White Chicks.
But you know what White Chicks is.
Yeah, I do, but I'm not watching it.
Dang it. That
What
film
am I
was amazing.
what am I gonna watch? What am I making you watch?
Why do you sound like you're walking in a bunker?
Because I'm looking at my Blu-rays behind me.
Is that the metal reverberations?
Metal are you hearing?
It sounds like you're in a submarine right now, though. I'm hearing a lot of reverberations.
Um, have you seen Skinamarink?
Not yet.
That's a good movie. You should watch that.
All right.
But you'll probably hate it. Actually, you know what? I have a better idea. I think it's still it was for a while free on YouTube. I don't know if it still is or not. Let me see. Yes, it is. All right. Because we are getting close to Joker 2
Oh,
releasing,
I
you're
forgot to
gonna
mention.
you're gonna watch The King of Comedy.
All right.
It's free on YouTube right now.
Actually, before we close this off, could we talk about Joker 2?
Sure, I'll go see it.
What do you think of the trailers for it so far?
It looks interesting. I think the musical style is gonna be. It's either gonna land or it's not.
I'm very nervous about it because it it's been focusing a lot on Harley Quinn and the same walking down the stair with a funny leg kick move and court bombing. It's not really explaining anything about the movie much.
I mean,
And what we're
it doesn't need to. You can interpret your own thing.
Well, I know, but it's the fact that I'm nervous about the movie. They're not telling me anything else about the movie that would help with that. And on top of that, what really bugs me is they show the bomb going off in the courthouse, which is obviously the climax of the movie. And
Yeah.
because they're just spoiling it straight up in the trailer, I really don't like that part.
Okay, that's fair.
It would be like if, do you think that it would be good if, say, the trailer for Joker 1, it ended with him shooting Murray in the face before fading to black? That'd kind of spoil like the whole rest of the film.
I mean, yeah.
Oh. Anyway, I really want it to be good because I really liked the first Joker. I hope this one will be good.
To me, the original Joker is nothing mind blowing. It's basically almost like a parody of like Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, which you're gonna watch because I fucking love The King of Comedy.
I'm sure I'll love it as well.
Taxi Driver is it's okay. I'm not gonna. I don't really care for it, but
Is Taxi
King of
Driver the
Comedy.
one with the
What?
crazed incel? Is
The
Taxi
what?
Driver Isn't Taxi Driver the one about the crazed incel with like the strip of hair on his head who gets violent obsessed over a woman?
Are you talking about? Are you talking about a mohawk? When you say strip of hair?
I don't know if it was a mohawk, but I think I vaguely remember what Taxi Driver is about.
Yeah, yeah, you're basically right. I don't really care for it all that much. But King of Comedy's fucking incredible. saying you're if you don't love it, then this podcast will never happen again.
What? Oh wow, no pressure there.
That's all I'm saying, because it's fucking amazing. Also, next time, top 30 favorite films of all time. That is the topic.
Also, Squid Game 2 is coming out. The second
I've never
season.
seen. I've never seen it.
You should. It's good.
I'm okay.
All right. Well, everyone, I am losing my voice, and this has been fun because I'm going less insane from isolation. So, thank you very much, Nick. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Well, anyway, everyone, that was the bar. This is where I'm assuming the fancy smooth jazz will play on our exit. And
No.
Nick, please, whatever you do, make sure this one doesn't get lost. All right. I don't retake this all time.
I will try my best.
All right. See ya. Thanks for talking.
Bye bye.
Bye.